Welcome to the Alps. This film is brought to you by Holcim, a world leader in building materials. We have our roots here in Switzerland, where people have worked with the challenges of nature for centuries. We build for the future, so that our children's children can enjoy life in the beauty of landscapes like the Alps. We proudly present this real-life story of strength, performance, and passion. Centuries ago, the Alps were insurmountable. Too tall, too rugged, too steep to cross. Over time, people with ingenuity and courage overcame this great natural barrier. Climbers are still attracted to these jagged peaks, none more treacherous than the north face of the Eiger. Eiger has cast a long shadow over the life of author and climber John Harlin. With his wife Adele and his daughter Sienna, John Harlin has returned to his boyhood home, Switzerland.
Uno.
Uno? Ah, how could that be? All right, let's hope you don't have any yellows.
Even as a boy, I loved the way these hillsides were sculpted by farmers. Things have changed in 40 years, but respect for the natural world is still a way of life here. My main goal for this trip is to pass that spirit of respect on to my daughter, Sienna.
Where is Switzerland?
Switzerland is this area here, just sort of the heart of the Alps, really, right in the center of Europe.
How long are the Alps?
Well, they're about 700 miles in a big arc stretching from southern France all the way to Slovenia.
Wow.
Europe sits between Africa and Asia, but the continents didn't always look like this. Way back in time, the continuously shifting plates of the Earth's surface pushed the continent of Africa slowly north until it rammed into Europe. The Earth's crust buckled, pushing the ocean floor almost 3 miles high, folding bands of rock like an accordion. I love the Alps. It speaks to my soul, to my heart, to be in this environment.
The Alps are unique. Almost 20 million people live here, in close harmony with nature.
You have villages, little villages, in just the most improbable of locations. It's just amazing that you can even get there at all, let alone have an entire village way up high on a mountainside. It gives me such a warm sense of being in a culture, a real mountain culture. As the editor of the American Alpine Journal, I love to write and to climb, and I've actually climbed now on 4 continents and done a lot of new routes. When I was 9, we lived in the Swiss village of Les Uns above Lake Geneva. Dad and I loved to ski together and climb together. He had a real reverence for the mountains, and he definitely passed that on to me. I have very fond memories of our times together. He was my hero. But when I was 9 years old, Dad's obsession with the Eiger took over our lives. The Eiger is the most dangerous mountain in Europe, and Dad was determined to put up the hardest route ever attempted. My life would never be the same.
The north face of the Eiger has claimed its 27th victim. To the dead climber, American John Harlin, the funeral service was solemnly observed at Lysin, mourned now by his wife, mother, and 2 children.
I was 9 when it happened. I clearly remember Mom came into the room crying and told us. I just couldn't quite believe it. It was 40 years ago that Dad died. Ever since, I've had unfinished business with the Eiger. Now the time feels right to confront my fears and honor my father.
Before he leaves Switzerland, John hopes to climb the north face of the Eiger at last and free himself from its shadow.
I promised Adele that I would not attempt the Eiger without the very best climbers at my side, Robert and Daniela Jasper. Robert has made it all the way up the north face of the Eiger a dozen times. His wife Daniela is also a superb climber.
Yeah, John was asking where could we do some training climbs together, and I said, what about our backyard?
The Jaspers and I both want to develop a sixth sense about each other and how we climb. They are every bit as interested in safety as I am.
When we are on the same rope with John on the Eiger, we need to know if we can trust each other with our lives.
Warm days make the Eiger too risky to climb. While we waited for cool weather, I wanted to show Sienna more of the things that I love about Switzerland. The mountain passes were once impossible to cross most of the year. Because of the Alps, the Italian region of Switzerland developed separately from the French and German parts.
We're in the southeast tip of Switzerland, the region of Ticino, where the people speak Italian.
The Versasca Dam in Ticino is over 200 meters high. If you stacked 9 of these dams on top of each other, they'd be as tall as the north face of the Eiger.
I knew when I married John that he wasn't afraid of living life on the edge. That's who he is.
This is catching a little bit here.
It's all right. And remember to enjoy it, because this is probably the last time you'll ever do it.
Okay.
Love you.
Shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm burning through the sky, yeah. 200 degrees, just why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the speed of light. I wanna make a supersonic man out of you. Don't stop me now. A good time. Don't stop. Yes, now. A good time. I don't wanna stop at all.
In the Alps, the tremendous influx of people has raised a new challenge. How to inhabit these mountains in a way that protects their future.
The most famous pass across the Alps.
I met up with Professor Bruno Messerli for his lively insights on the Alps. Bruno Messerli studies how we as a species interact with these mountains. To connect with the outside world, they've had to tunnel through massive mountains, bridge valleys, and carve roads into huge cliffs. Switzerland looks small on the map, but the mountains give it a large vertical dimension.
I mean, this exercise begins several thousand years ago. People came in here and had to adapt to this fantastic landscape.
So would the same farmer have land in the bottom of the valley and also up in the hill?
Yes, it was not easy. But look here, you see in the lower valley bottom, they could plow, they had barley, they had the cows, the cattle. Then come the steep slope here up, and then there must be the forest. Then is again grazing land, and then begins the stony part, then comes the snow and the ice. It is fantastic to have in a vertical structure all these different belts.
And what kind of different types of rocks are there in the Alps?
Well, there's limestone, which is sedimentary. There's some crystalline rocks of different types, including granite.
And how tall are the Alps?
Well, they go up to 15,000 feet or more.
Tectonic uplift is still pushing the Alps higher, but they are also being torn down by other forces. As the rock freezes and thaws, it eventually cracks. Gravity and erosion do the rest.